Ghana has confirmed the arrest of 17 soldiers from neighboring Burkina Faso, an unexpected move that has quickly drawn attention across West Africa and beyond. The arrests were announced by Ghanaian security officials, who said the soldiers were detained after crossing into Ghanaian territory without authorization. While investigations are still ongoing, the incident has already raised serious questions about border security, regional trust, and the fragile stability of the Sahel region. According to Ghanaian authorities, the soldiers were found in the northern part of the country, close to the Burkina Faso border. Officials say the arrests were carried out calmly and professionally, with no violence reported. The detained soldiers are currently in custody as Ghana works to understand why they entered the country and under what orders they were operating. Burkina Faso's government has acknowledged the situation and said it is seeking clarification through diplomatic channels. This development is important because Ghana and Burkina Faso have long shared peaceful relations and cooperation, especially on security matters. Both countries face growing threats from armed groups operating across borders in the Sahel. Because of this, any incident involving soldiers crossing borders without clear coordination can easily raise alarms and fears of misunderstanding or escalation. For ordinary people in the region, the news has caused concern and confusion. Many are asking whether this was a simple mistake, a security operation gone wrong, or a sign of deeper problems in regional coordination. In a region already under pressure from conflict, displacement, and economic hardship, even small incidents can carry serious weight. Part 1 sets the stage for a developing story that goes far beyond the arrest itself. It touches on borders drawn by history, shared security threats, and the delicate balance between cooperation and suspicion in West Africa. In the next part, we will look at the background of Ghana-Burkina Faso relations and why this incident matters so much at this moment in time.
To understand why the arrest of 17 Burkina-based soldiers is so sensitive, it is important to look at the long relationship between Ghana and Burkina Faso. The two countries share a wide and mostly open border that stretches across rural communities where families, trade, and cultures have mixed for generations. For decades, people have crossed this border daily for farming, markets, and social ties, often without strict controls. At the government level, Ghana and Burkina Faso have generally enjoyed stable and friendly relations. They have worked together on trade, migration, and especially security. In recent years, as violence from armed extremist groups spread across the Sahel, cooperation between the two countries became even more important. Ghana, which has largely avoided large-scale attacks, has increased security along its northern border to prevent the conflict from spilling over from Burkina Faso. Because of this close cooperation, the presence of foreign soldiers on Ghanaian soil without official notice is taken very seriously. Security experts say such movements can create confusion, fear, and risk, especially in areas already under tension. Ghanaian authorities have stressed that their actions were not hostile, but part of standard security procedures to protect national sovereignty. From Burkina Faso's side, the country has been under extreme pressure as it fights armed groups and tries to maintain control over its territory. Military movements near borders are common in such conditions, but they usually require coordination to avoid misunderstandings. The lack of clear communication in this case has raised concerns about gaps in regional security systems. This part shows that this incident did not happen in isolation. It sits on top of years of shared challenges, cooperation, and rising insecurity. In the next part, we will examine what Ghanaian officials have said so far and how the arrests are being explained to the public and the international community.
Ghanaian authorities have been clear in explaining the arrests, emphasizing that the soldiers were detained for entering the country without authorization. The Ministry of Defense and the Ghana Armed Forces stated that the 17 Burkina soldiers were discovered in the northern regions near the border, an area that has seen increased security monitoring in recent months due to concerns about armed groups operating in neighboring countries. Officials have stressed that the arrests were carried out professionally and without incident. No violence was reported during the operation, and the soldiers are being treated according to Ghanaian law while investigations continue. Authorities say they are working to determine whether the soldiers crossed the border unintentionally, were on a training exercise, or if there were other motives behind their movement. The Ghanaian government has also made clear that it seeks to handle the matter diplomatically. While respecting national sovereignty and border security, Accra has communicated with Ouagadougou to ensure that the situation does not escalate into a larger political or military conflict. Diplomats and military liaisons from both countries are reportedly in contact to clarify the circumstances of the incident. In addition to the official explanations, Ghanaian leaders have emphasized the importance of public calm. They have urged citizens in northern regions to remain patient and avoid rumors that could inflame tension. The message is intended to reassure both locals and the international community that Ghana's actions are measured and aimed at protecting national security rather than provoking conflict. This part establishes the facts as presented by Ghana and highlights the careful balance between security enforcement and diplomacy. In the next part, we will explore Burkina Faso's response to the arrests and how Ouagadougou is handling the delicate situation.
Burkina Faso has reacted cautiously but firmly to the arrests of its soldiers in Ghana. Officials in Ouagadougou have confirmed that the detained personnel are part of the country's military and expressed concern over the incident. The government emphasized that it is seeking clarification through diplomatic channels to ensure that the situation is resolved peacefully and respectfully. Burkina Faso authorities have stressed that the soldiers were likely operating under routine military orders near the border, a sensitive zone where security threats from armed groups are constant. While they have not openly accused Ghana of wrongdoing, officials have called for careful handling of the matter to avoid escalating tensions. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that dialogue between the two countries is already underway and that they hope for a quick resolution. The incident has also reignited domestic debate in Burkina Faso. Citizens and analysts are questioning why soldiers would be near or across the border without clear coordination, while others point to the pressures faced by the Burkina Faso military as it fights extremist groups in difficult terrain. Some commentators suggest that mistakes can happen in such high-stress environments, but they warn that repeated incidents could weaken public trust in the government and the armed forces. At the regional level, Burkina Faso's response is being watched closely by neighboring states. Governments in West Africa are aware that border incidents between friendly countries can quickly escalate if not handled through careful diplomacy. For Burkina Faso, maintaining strong communication with Ghana is critical to prevent any misinterpretation that could affect regional security cooperation. This part shows that Burkina Faso is trying to balance concern for its soldiers with the need for calm diplomacy. In the next part, we will examine the regional and international reactions to the arrests and what this incident could mean for West African security overall.
The arrest of 17 Burkina Faso soldiers in Ghana has not gone unnoticed beyond the two countries, drawing reactions from regional organizations and international partners. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, which often mediates disputes and promotes stability in the region, called for calm and urged both Ghana and Burkina Faso to resolve the situation through dialogue. The organization emphasized the importance of respecting borders, maintaining regional security, and avoiding actions that could escalate tensions. Neighboring countries are closely monitoring the situation as well. In a region already challenged by armed groups, cross-border security cooperation is vital. Officials in countries like Niger, Togo, and Côte d'Ivoire have expressed concern that incidents like this could undermine collective efforts to secure the Sahel and prevent violence from spilling across borders. Analysts warn that mistrust between countries could create gaps that extremist groups might exploit. International observers, including the United Nations and diplomatic missions from Europe and the United States, have also weighed in, urging restraint and careful handling of the matter. They highlight that Burkina Faso's military is already engaged in fighting armed groups, and Ghana's border security measures are meant to prevent potential threats from spilling over. Both sides are being reminded that cooperation, not confrontation, is key to regional stability. This part highlights that this incident is more than a local or bilateral issue. It is a test of regional coordination, diplomacy, and the capacity of West African nations to manage security challenges collaboratively. In the next part, we will examine the potential security implications for the Sahel and how this could affect the fight against armed groups.
The arrest of the Burkinabe soldiers in Ghana has broader implications for security in the Sahel, a region already facing a complex web of threats. Both Burkina Faso and northern Ghana share borders with areas affected by extremist groups, including armed jihadist factions that operate across multiple countries. Any tension between neighboring governments can create gaps in intelligence sharing and military coordination, potentially allowing these groups to exploit weaknesses. Security experts warn that incidents like this could slow down joint operations against armed groups. The Sahel has been the focus of regional and international counter-terrorism efforts, with countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Ghana working together under the guidance of organizations such as the G5 Sahel. Clear communication and trust between neighboring militaries are essential to prevent extremists from crossing borders undetected or staging attacks. Moreover, the incident raises questions about border management and the challenges of monitoring vast, remote areas. Soldiers operating near borders face difficult terrain, limited resources, and the constant risk of encountering both hostile groups and civilians. In such circumstances, even routine patrols can be misinterpreted as aggressive or unauthorized activity, as appears to have happened in this case. For local communities along the border, the arrests also create anxiety. Many rely on cross-border trade and family connections for survival. Increased military presence, patrols, or border controls could disrupt daily life and further strain already vulnerable populations. Analysts note that maintaining security while ensuring the livelihoods of border communities is one of the toughest challenges for West African governments. This part underscores that this incident is not just a diplomatic issue. It has direct consequences for regional security, counter-terrorism operations, and the safety of civilians. In the next part, we will explore the potential diplomatic solutions and the efforts being made to prevent the situation from escalating further.
In response to the arrests, both Ghana and Burkina Faso have emphasized the importance of diplomacy to prevent the situation from escalating. Officials from both countries have engaged in high-level talks, including communication between defense ministries and foreign affairs offices, to clarify the circumstances surrounding the soldiers' presence and ensure that tensions do not spiral into conflict. Regional organizations, particularly ECOWAS, have played a key role in facilitating dialogue. The group has reminded both nations of their shared responsibility to maintain peace and security in the West African region. Statements from ECOWAS stress that cooperation, not confrontation, is the best way to handle cross-border security challenges, especially in areas affected by armed groups. Diplomats from other West African nations and international partners, including the United Nations and the African Union, have also offered support in mediating the situation.
They have encouraged both sides to proceed with transparency and to treat the detained soldiers according to international norms, ensuring that the situation does not undermine confidence in regional security efforts. The focus of these diplomatic efforts is twofold: resolving the immediate issue of the arrested soldiers and strengthening long-term mechanisms for communication and coordination along the Ghana-Burkina Faso border. Analysts argue that clearer protocols, shared intelligence, and joint patrols could prevent similar incidents in the future, helping to maintain both national sovereignty and regional stability. This part highlights the proactive steps being taken to avoid escalation, showing that despite the tension, diplomacy remains the primary tool for resolving this delicate situation. In the final part, we will examine the broader implications of this incident for West Africa and what it may mean for regional security in the months ahead.
The arrest of 17 Burkinabe soldiers in Ghana is more than a bilateral incident. It is a moment that could shape security and diplomacy across West Africa. The event highlights how fragile regional stability can be, especially in areas where borders are long, lightly monitored, and shared by countries facing serious security threats. Experts warn that even minor misunderstandings between neighboring nations can have outsized consequences if not addressed quickly and transparently. For the Sahel region, the incident underscores the ongoing challenge of combating armed extremist groups while maintaining trust between states. Cooperation and intelligence sharing have been key to preventing the spread of violence, and incidents like this could temporarily disrupt joint efforts. Military analysts emphasize that maintaining secure borders while also avoiding unnecessary tension between friendly countries is crucial for both national and regional security. The situation also reflects larger questions about governance, accountability, and communication within militaries under stress. Burkina Faso's armed forces are engaged in a difficult fight against insurgents, and Ghana is focused on protecting its northern territories. Coordinating these operations while respecting sovereignty and avoiding misunderstandings is a delicate task that requires clear protocols and constant dialogue. Internationally, the incident has drawn attention to West Africa's strategic importance. Foreign partners, including the United Nations, the European Union, and the United States, are monitoring closely, understanding that stability in Ghana and Burkina Faso affects broader efforts to combat terrorism, manage migration, and support development across the region. Ultimately, the arrests serve as a reminder that regional security is interconnected. One nation's border incident can ripple across neighboring countries, influencing trust, diplomacy, and military operations. How Ghana and Burkina Faso navigate this situation will set an example for West Africa and the Sahel, showing whether cooperation can overcome tension and maintain peace in a region facing persistent threats. This final part emphasizes that while the immediate crisis may be contained, the lessons and consequences of this incident will be felt for months, shaping security strategies and diplomatic relations in West Africa and beyond.